Hi, welcome back to Sleepy Bees Lavender Farm. We are closing up the bees for the winter. There's a few steps that we're going to be doing today and we'll edit it all together. But right now we are going to put this apivar or apivar, they're mite strips for the prevention of mites. Each of the hives is going to get some of these. Basically you take them and you dangle them like flypaper down between the frames on the hives, and each box is supposed to get 2 of them. These smaller hives, I'm only going to put 2 in the bottom box, and the bigger hive I'm going to put 2 in the bottom box and 1 in the top box. That way I think we don't have a large infestation of mites, so I don't want to over treat them. But everyone has their differing opinion on whether or not to treat for mites. But everyone that we've heard from that have been doing bees for many, many years all says, yes, treat for mites. So we're going to go ahead and treat for mites today. The first step, we're going to take apart these boxes and we're going to put some mite strips in them. And we'll show you what the mite strips look like here in a second after I get these taken apart. So we have a nice cluster of bees here right in the center. It's between the 2 boxes, and they're going to be down in the bottom box. That's where they're going to kind of stay for the winter time. I'm going to push them down a little bit into the hive. This doesn't hurt them at all. It just kind of gets them out of my way for working. A little bit of smoke. I'm not over smoking them. And that'll get them out of my way for when I want to get these things slid down in between. Alright, so the mite strips, they're very toxic. You can't get them on your skin or clothing. They come in little strips that look like these, little wax type strips. And they have little hangers on the edge here, if you can see that. So basically I'm going to take these 2 apart, and they're just wax strips, and they're coated with this medicine, or it's pesticide basically is what it is, but it helps the bees by getting rid of the mites, and the mites are one of the biggest killers of bees over the winter time. So you want to place these in between the hive frames, about like that, and you want to keep them to where they are going to stay there, just right. Well, that'll pop up. Once we put the other one back down on it, it won't be bad. But basically the bees need to walk over the top of these to get the pesticide on them. And that will kill the mites. It'll make the mites dissolve inside them or jump off and die. They'll fall down in the bottom box. So at this point we don't want to disturb them too much anymore, so all I'm doing is putting the mite stuff on, and we're going to go ahead and seal this box back up. So this is my candy board. We just kind of made these ourselves out of what we've seen on the internet. It's just pieces of wood around the edges with some 1/2 inch wire mesh basically that holds in the candy. And if you can see the dark spot down in there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a protein patty mixed in there, and the bees can get through it. We've got some air holes, some ventilation holes. They can get through here. They come up right through here from below, and then they can get right to the bottom of this and start eating on it if they run out of their own food. I've kind of raised it off of that platform a little bit so that they have some better ventilation in here. And then when we put the top down and we cap it down tight, when we use our ratchet straps to cap it down tight, it'll hold everything Besides together. Mites killing bees over the winter time, the second biggest killer is not the cold, it's actually condensation. So if the bees are eating honey and sugar, all this stuff has water in it, they get rid of the water, but they can't leave the hive, so they expire it. Just like when we breathe out moisture. So they're expiring moisture the whole winter long inside here, and if they don't have good ventilation coming from the front entrance up through the hive and out the back entrance, then the water builds up as condensate inside. And so now not only is it cold in their hive, it's wet in their hive. And the cold and the wet is what really actually kills the bees over the wintertime. So what the air is going to do is it's going to flow in through the bottom and come out and dry out through here and come out through the top ventilation up here, through these holes here and this hole here. When we put this on the top on, it's going to seal it all down to make sure no moisture comes in from the top, and then when we put our ratchet straps on, it's going to hold this down. We're also later going to show you how we winterize them, and we're going to be putting some wrap around all three sides and a foam pad on the front side, so that they still have access to get into their entrances and the airflow still can go from the front entrance to the back entrance. But we'll show you that here in a few minutes after we get done with the rest of the mites. Back again, finishing up the wrapping for the beehives that we have this winter. We got the mite strips on so we're going to prevent the mites. We've got the candy boards on. We're going to give them extra food for the winter time so they don't die. The last thing we want to do is make them warm. We want to keep them as warm as we can. We've got them in this enclave here where there's trees behind it, and there's a grove of trees on this side of us here too, past the truck. It kind of acts as a wind block. So we've kind of got them stuck down here in a spot where they get good sun for the most part of the day, and then they don't get a lot of wind. So that's the first thing. We kind of kept them out of the wind. Next thing is I've just kind of made up some stuff here. It's a piece of foam with a little aluminum on the outside. They use it for outside of houses and things like that for R value, which is getting things to have more insulative value. The other thing I bought was a big water heater wrap, and it's basically aluminum on the outside with insulation on the inside, and it comes, the one I got was 90 inches long by 60 inches wide. So I cut it down into 20-inch pieces, and it should be able to just wrap right around here on both sides, and then that's going to be there on both sides, and then we're going to have this, which is going to stick right up front here, and it's going to go on top of the entrance reducer right here, which we're going to put down here. And once we have the entrance reducer in, oh, sorry baby, and then this goes on top of it, and that'll stay just like it's supposed to. We'll wrap this up tight around it, and then we'll wrap a ratchet strap all the way around it and hold it all together. So for the most part, this is what we've got here, and then we're going to put this around here, making sure not to cover the top entrance, and making sure not to cover the bottom entrance, and making sure to leave them plenty of room to get out. And then we're going to take that ratchet strap, and I'm going to have Holly help me, and we're going to tighten it up all the way around here. So, but that's what it's going to look like. We'll show you the ending picture when we are finished. So this has been Sleepy Bees Lavender Farm bee expedition. First year with our bees, 3 hives, all closed up for the winter time. That apivar, the mite treatment, we have to come take it out in 46 to 56 days. So in that 10-day time period, we're gonna have to find a nice day, some day that it's at least 50 degrees during the daytime. And we're gonna have to come in, break into these hives, get into the second box on each one of these, and pull those strips out. And then we'll put some more in the spring to treat one more time before they start doing honey. So we'll be out one more time this winter, and then we'll keep you in touch this spring to let you know how all the bees have made it through the winter. Thanks for joining Sleepy Bees Lavender Farm.